If you deploy your workloads over different availability zones in AWS and use Amazon RDS Multi-AZ, which of the following cloud architectural principles are followed? A. Implement elasticity. B. Decouple your components. C. Think parallel. D. Design for failure. Which AWS service should you use to centrally manage rules and billing across different accounts? A. AWS Trusted Advisors. B. AWS Organizations. C. AWS Config. D. AWS Budgets. An international bank intends to move some of its on-premises online programs to Amazon Web Services. Which of the following is a benefit of adopting Amazon Web Services instead of virtualized data centers? A. Lower variable costs and lower upfront costs. B. Lower variable costs and higher upfront costs. C. Higher variable costs and higher upfront costs. D. Higher variable costs and lower upfront costs. To design a highly available architecture, choose the minimal number of availability zones for your application load balancer. A. 5. B. 4. C. 7. D. 2. Which of the following statements about the AWS Global Infrastructure Components is correct? A. An edge location contains multiple AWS regions. B. An availability zone contains edge locations. C. An AWS region contains multiple availability zones. D. An availability zone contains multiple AWS regions. Which service should you choose if you need to establish a custom self-hosted database that needs to be shut down every night to save money? A. Amazon EC2 instance with an EBS volume. B. Amazon ECZ instance with an instance store volume. C. Amazon Redshift. D. Amazon DynamoDB. Which of the following companies offers a set of services to assist you in achieving specified business results linked to enterprise cloud adoption through paid engagements in a variety of specialty practice areas? A. AWS Professional Services. B. Concierge Support. C. AWS Technical Account Manager. D. AWS Enterprise Support. You need to host a new Microsoft SQL Server database for a current project. Should you use two AWS services to achieve this requirement? A. Amazon Aurora. B. Amazon Relational Database Service. C. Amazon Redshift. D. Amazon EC2. Which of the following Amazon EC2 instance purchasing choices allows you to leverage your existing server-bound software licenses to help you meet compliance requirements and save money? A. On-demand instance. B. Dedicated instance. C. Reserved instance. D. Dedicated host. Select any options that you want to utilize to strengthen the security of your IAM users. A. Enable incoming traffic via security groups. B. Block incoming traffic via network ACL. C. Enable multi-factor authentication. D. Configure a strong password policy for your users. Which service keeps track of all actions made through the AWS Management Console, AWS SDKs, command line tools, and other AWS services? A. AWS Infrastructure Event Management. B. AWS Config. C. AWS CloudTrail. D. Amazon CloudWatch. What AWS service could you utilize to help protect your production system from DOS attacks? A. IAM. B. AWS Shield. C. AWS CloudTrail. D. Multi-factor authentication. Which service is best for Java, .NET, Docker, Python, and Node.js developers who want to quickly deploy their code to the cloud? A. AWS DynamoDB. B. AWS RDS. C. AWS EC2 Elastic Cloud Compute. D. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Which of the following options below is solely the responsibility of the client under the AWS Shared Responsibility Model? A. Patching of the host operating system. B. Awareness and training. C. Zone security. D. Configuration management. What service would you recommend if I wanted to host a relational database on AWS while keeping as much control as possible over the database's hosting? A. AWS EC2. B. AWS RDS. C. AWS DynamoDB. D. AWS Redshift. Which Amazon Web Services can be used to host virtual servers? A. AWS EBS. B. AWS CloudWatch. C. AWS EC2. D. AWS S3. Your boss has given you the task of building a system that is made up of several interconnected microservices. Which AWS product do you think you'd utilize to encourage loose coupling between them? A. AWS SQS. B. AWS IAM. C. AWS CloudTrail. D. AWS Beanstalk. What service would you recommend if I wanted to run a relational database on Amazon Web Services while leaving the operating system to Amazon? A. AWS EC2. B. AWS RDS. C. AWS DynamoDB. D. AWS Redshift. Which instance type would be the best fit for your company's needs to host certain servers for a 4-month period? A. Spot instances. B. No upfront costs. C. On-demand instances. D. Partial upfront costs. In terms of AWS and its users, what is the shared responsibility model? A. The client is responsible for hardware maintenance and upgrades. B. AWS and their clients share the responsibility between them. C. AWS is responsible for identify access management. D. AWS are responsible for the maintenance of the user's data. AWS Cloud Practitioner. AWS Cloud Practitioner is an IT specialist who provides cloud solutions for businesses. They optimize existing systems and recommend new ones that can improve efficiency and security. You can start your journey towards this career by getting an AWS Cloud Practitioner certification. This certification proves that you are broadly knowledgeable about core AWS services and use cases. AWS cloud services are used by companies and developers to build, run, and manage applications. These services are provided by Amazon in dozens of data centers across 87 availability zones in regions around the world. A business can use AWS cloud services to meet its requirements for computing capacity, storage, and networking. Its customers pay for what they use, and their costs are automatically scaled based on usage. Many large enterprises have adopted AWS as a core part of their IT infrastructure, including Netflix and Airbnb. These firms understand that by adopting AWS they can save time and money and focus on what matters to their businesses.